Clic, mao. Ça tue, ça blesse, ça flingue. Hey, 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 mao.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT podcast, the best sports podcast in New Jersey. Greg will be on screen at some point, but Miles, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. End of the summer. That always signals, weather's going to get a little cooler, but it's a good time because football's back. That's the best part of the year when football's back.
I've been loving this weather. I pray we don't get no random heat wave. I can deal with this 77, 78. I love it. And like you said, and that starts getting to that fall weather, and then it is football season on full blast. On this episode, we are previewing week 1, making some of our picks, some of the games that we find most interesting, upsets, of course, because we know everybody, including the players, loves to gamble. We will make sure that Miles gives you some parlays, some picks that you should do this week, and it's really everybody because I'm working the U.S. Open right now. There's people that work with me on the court that are betting on the matches that we're working.
Seems like a conflict of interest, but
1,000%.
As long as it's not the players betting, they're good.
Also on this episode, we of course are going to be talking about Shedeur and what happened with him and the Brown situation, what's going on over there. We're predicting Jets and Giants record. We do it every single year, so we'll predict what their record will be. We normally have another team, but that person is no longer with us, like Lee Corso. He had his last episode a while ago. And we'll do our NFL award predictions, of course, MVPs, Super Bowl prediction, all that good stuff. But we want to start off with none other than the Shedeur conversation. But before we do that, you already know the vibe. Y'all know the rules. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Tell any and everybody about the podcast. We're trying to be here for a good time and a long time. Now, Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is in a situation where he actually now has been announced he is the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart. They traded Kenny Pickett. Throw a little background into this. Shedeur had the most time on average as a quarterback to throw the ball in preseason, about 3.94 seconds. He was also the 2nd most sacked quarterback in the preseason. The last game of the preseason, though, he played with 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th stringers that were literally cut the very next day. He was taken out and was not allowed to do the 2-minute warning in the game, last 2 minutes. Wanted to get back in the game. Coach said no. Didn't have his best game and did not repeat what we saw from his first preseason game. Looking at the situation now that Shedeur is the last man on the totem pole regarding the quarterbacks, how much of the blame are we putting on Shedeur? How much of the blame are we putting on the Browns organization?
I'd go 70-30 Browns. Browns blame in this situation. That's the way I kind of divvy up the blame when you think about it. Because look, Shedeur couldn't help the fact that they threw him out there with the 4th stringers and 5th stringers out there, and guys that clearly weren't going to make that football team. I think they cut 4 to 5 offensive linemen that he played with in the game, so he couldn't help that, right? I think we got to be honest with ourselves about the situation. All right, they didn't want to draft him. I think it's as clear as day. They started him in that last game against the Panthers in the first game of the preseason because everybody else, literally everybody else they would have played was hurt. They had no choice. So they ran him out there, and he did well. And I guess the reason why they didn't want to have a competition or want to stir one up, and really what you should have done if it was really a competition was have Shedeur play with the same guys that Dylan played with for half of those snaps and split those snaps between them both evenly. So you can see what Dylan's doing with those guys and what Shedeur is doing with those guys. So you can make a fair assessment and comparison of what they're doing with the same level of talent around them. That was never their plan because they never wanted Shedeur Sanders on this football team in the first place. right? He's here because, I mean, I guess the powers that be had to end up that way, right? But clearly, him falling to the 5th round was farcical. He's not a 5th round quarterback in terms of talent. He's not. Even if he is going to run around and take ridiculous sacks from here and there, we knew that was a problem. And we knew he was over. Look, he was overrated coming out of Colorado for sure. But that doesn't mean that he should have fell to the 5th round. If he'd gone in the 3rd round, we could have made sense of it. Even late 2nd, we could have made sense of it. That's probably where he belonged with the level of talent that he has. But look, it feels like there was definitely collusion and foul play there on the Browns' part. There was sabotage there to put him out there with those guys. It definitely feels that way because at the end of the day, you're not going to get a fair read on what this guy can do when you're playing him with those guys. You're just not, like, with the guys around him. And it didn't feel like they ran any kind of quick game for him, really. It didn't, and if they were, those receivers could not get open, right? It wasn't like Shador is inept and he can't read and get to a second read and get to it. I mean, it's not like that. It just wasn't functional. The operation was always completely all bad as well. So, I mean, look, he didn't play a good game, so you got to give him some blame. But I just feel like when you look at the entirety of the situation, the bigger picture, actually taking into account Eric Dickerson's comments where he says, "Hey, like, I got it from a good source in the NFL that teams were told not to draft him. Teams were told not to draft Shedeur Sanders to send a message to him and his father." And it's believable. I mean, it really is. So I think the way the Browns have handled themselves has only added fuel to the fire. We've seen collusion before in the NFL. It isn't like this is the first time. I mean, we've seen it with the Colin Kaepernick situation. We saw it with the Lamar Jackson contract situation, which wasn't that long ago, but no one talks about it, right? We've seen teams band together and make a statement at the same time and work in tandem, work together, all of them, to ensure that, you know, whatever they want to get done gets done. That's just the way this thing goes. So, yeah, I think it's really unfortunate. It really is with the Shedeur situation. He's stuck there in Cleveland. For now, I was hoping they'd cut him. I really was, but obviously they're gonna make him sit there and go through a dreadful year in Cleveland as well. But they never had plans for him, and they've always liked Dylan Gabriel more. And I know there are NFL analysts that will tell you Dylan Gabriel is better than Shedeur Sanders because he plays on time. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and do I agree with it? I don't know. I don't think so, but I can hear them out on that. Regardless, we didn't get a chance to see a competition unfold the way we see it in the NFL. It didn't happen. The way Shuck and Riddler, what's his name? I call them Riddler. Shuck and Rattler got to split their snaps, right? I mean, like, that's the way a competition should go. One guy plays with the ones, one guy plays with the ones. Like, you get a chance to see them with the best of the best and see what they can do. Shedeur was never in consideration to be the backup for that football team, and I'm really surprised he's still on the team. It's a cruel situation, but he's in the NFL, so can't feel that bad. But it does feel like the NFL is playing dirty with him. It does feel like this is something bigger than what we're even seeing for sure.
Regarding Shedeur, Miles, do you feel there's a situation where he could possibly get out from Cleveland? Should the agent reach out, be trying to get trades behind the scenes? Because, like Greg has explained, it does not seem like they have any interest actually in putting Shedeur in position to succeed. And I heard Bomani Jones talk about it today. It's the Cleveland Browns. Nobody is really put in a position to succeed there because y'all starting Joe Flacco this year.
I think he's going to kind of have to just take what's being given to him right now. I don't know if, as a third string quarterback, even though we know that he's probably better than that, if you're asking out of a team in your first year as a rookie, it's not sending a good message to some of these other teams that you're already, I don't want to say entitled, but you believe that you should be playing in the games on Sundays, which, hey, if things went differently on draft day, maybe he's in a starting position somewhere, but it didn't, and he's in Cleveland. So these are the cards that he was dealt. So it's a tough situation to be in. I just wish that some of those reps in the third game that they gave to Joe Flacco with the first team, I don't even know why he played in that game. They should have just let Dylan and Shedeur play because having Joe go out there, which, I mean, he ripped it to shreds and threw a touchdown pass. Joe's a vet. What more do you need to see? Does he need to warm up and get ready for the season? Like, at this point, he was ready in July for the season. He knows how to get ready for a season. But if you're evaluating talent and trying to do it in a fair way, you should want the level playing field, or somewhat of a level playing field, where guys aren't playing with practice squad and CFL guys. That's basically what he was doing on Sunday. He was running behind a patchwork offensive line where one guy made the team. Everybody else was cut. And yeah, sure, the stats do show that he holds the ball too long, which that is an issue. Like, it's not college. This is not the Big 12. You can't just dance back there and then somebody will be open. Travis is there. Travis is not here anymore. Like, you got what you've got on the Browns. So I wish he would have gone to a different spot. But who's to say that this would be any different if he went somewhere else? Like, if he went to the Saints, which is a good spot, who's to say that he would have gotten a fair shot there? Like, that's where it comes back to, was he always put in a disadvantaged spot from the jump? Like, was he always destined to, I guess, from draft day on, to kind of, they made an example out of him?
Well, can I just say this too? I mean, I think the way Tone kind of phrased this whole thing was smart in asking if there's blame on Shedeur Sanders, because the time to throw stat is crazy, right? That's not because the offensive line is great. That's because you're running around, extending the play, running for your life instead of just throwing the ball away or throwing it in the dirt and living to see another down. That is something he did a lot at Colorado. He tried to play hero ball a lot, and he's not nearly athletic enough to do that in the NFL. If Caleb Williams can't do it, right, with all the talent he has, you certainly can't do it, Shedeur Sanders. So he does deserve some blame at the same time for the fact that, yeah, like there are teams that are going to think that other quarterbacks are better than you, period. Like Dylan Gabriel, because Dylan Gabriel knows his physical limitations. Give him credit. He's going to get the ball out of his hands fast. He's not holding on to that football. He's not trying to turn into a scrambler. It's in and out, quick, boom, gone. I see my second read, I'm out of here. Right? He knows that his internal clock is good. Shedor's isn't. So there is that part of it where we have to be honest with ourselves about it. I see, because what happens is Shedeur becomes the Black Panther now, right? So like now he's a lightning rod and everyone's rallying around him. I see it in all the comments. I see it, when I tune into different shows and how people are talking about how he's being made an example of, right? We're talking about him like he's Rosa Parks, but the reality of the situation is that he has flaws in his game. He has legitimate flaws in his game, and it's mainly because you don't play on time when you need to play on time. With that kind of build, with your arm strength, with your profile, you got to be on time, like Brock Purdy on time. Like, it's got to be out of your hands where that guy's even out of his break. That's the reality of it, and that's not what we are with Shedeur. But two things can be true, and I think this is people don't understand. While that's also true, he's being treated unfairly by the Browns. I think that is just reality. When you see the practice highlights, you see the practice tracker that the Browns have been posting, that the Browns beat writers have been posting, that they've been arguing about over there in Cleveland because there's nothing else to do. The reality of the situation is, like, there's no reason why that guy didn't get an opportunity to split reps with the second string guys with Dylan to get a fair competition. Because, yeah, I'll play Dylan, right? But, Kevin Stefanski's paid to know more than we do. I do think Miles made a great point. I don't think this would be different if he played for any other organization. It'd be the same thing, because all these owners are like this, and whatever these owners want, these coaches are going to capitulate to every single time. That's just the way this thing goes. Look back in history at a million different examples: contract disputes, lockouts. Jerry Jones threatened to sue the league when the NFL tried to take the Cowboys away from them. Like, these guys are petulant. These owners, they're going to do whatever they want to get their way, and they're used to getting their way. So if they didn't want Shedeur to be successful, they're going to make sure they can make an example of him. If they wanted to embarrass him, they're going to make sure they can embarrass him. And that's all. And that's all we're seeing play out too. I think both things are true. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, there's a middle ground here. This is the middle ground.
On the flip side, quarterback that actually balled out, and now we're having discussions on how soon we'll see this quarterback. This quarterback had in the preseason a complete opposite preseason than what Shador did. 372 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 113.1 QB rating while rushing for another 52 yards and a rushing touchdown. Jackson Dart is who I'm talking about. Jackson Dart balled out in the preseason, which now presents this question. They signed Russell Wilson. And more than likely the plan was if Russell didn't play well, James would be the next man up. But the way how Jackson Dart played, how soon do you think we will see Jackson Dart this season, if we do see him this season?
It's hard to estimate. I think that what really happened this preseason is that he just shortened Russ's leash. Like Russ's leash is extremely short. That's the reality of it. I don't think that Russ has many games to struggle this season. I do think they're going to be patient and take their time, kind of like building him up behind the scenes. And I do think it's more of a matter of when he's ready. It's not so much if Russ is struggling or not. He really is like, hey, we feel like he's ready. Because the way Daboll looks at this guy, like he never looked at Daniel Jones that way ever. As a matter of fact, looking back, if I'm comparing the way he looks at Dart to the way he looked at Daniel Jones, I can confirm that he hated Daniel Jones. He hated that guy. Okay, he really did. It was a source of his pain for years. And so now that he's got a quarterback that he believes in and he loves and thinks that that's the future of the organization, I think it's more about building him up day by day, practice by practice, having him learn stuff. So that way, when they do put him in there at some point middle of the season, maybe week 7, week 6, right? Think about that time. I think the game against the Saints is a game that they probably will target to get him a soft landing and get him a good start against a team that's awful. I think that's probably what they'll do. Look at games like that. But yeah, or the Patriots late in the season. But I think it'll be way earlier than that. But yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. That's their game plan. I think they're going to be, it's more about whether or not he's ready. I will say this, and I've said this to you guys in the group chat. I don't really know how all these NFL people miss this. Like, I don't know how if you're the Steelers at 21, you didn't draft Jackson Dart if you watched his college tape. Because people talk about that Florida game and the meltdown he had at the end of that game. But that game has at least 5 or 6 NFL big time throws. Like he had a bunch of great throws in that game, and then in his tape all throughout his college career is just littered with NFL big time throws, tight window throws under duress. The pressure does not bother him. And when he played against Abdul Carter last year in the Peach Bowl, he looked incredible in that game, and they won that game running away. And in fact, that year they only lost 2 games to Alabama, I think, and LSU, I think it was. He has had quite the track record in college, but the tape tells you everything you need to know about him. He's all the stuff we saw him do in preseason, he did it at Ole Miss. So I just don't understand how all these NFL teams miss it, and he falls to pick 25. That's crazy to me. I was just ranting about this yesterday to my wife. I don't understand. She's her being a Steelers fan. I'm like, I don't know how they missed. How did you miss? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It was right in front of you. It's right there. You could have drafted him, and you didn't. I'm happy they didn't do it. Please, I don't feel bad for them. But it's just crazy to me that teams missed it because it really is all on the film. So I'm super excited that he's here. I really do think the Giants have found their answer. I really do believe that. Obviously, it's early, and you got to see how he does in the regular season. But some of the things he's done in the preseason, he's looked like a vet. And and the regular rookies don't do that. And I'm gonna say this right here too, and I've said this to other people. The way he plays, and the style of play he has, it reminds me of Jaden Daniels last year when he came in. Like the plan the Giants have for him, the quick game, getting the ball to your hands super fast, like efficient, like almost getting him warmed up and eased into the game, and then he's able to throw the ball over your head or run for first downs, right? He's not as athletic as Jaden Daniels is, but the style of play is very similar. And the way the ball gets out of their hands and the pace of the football coming out there, it really does remind me of Jaden Daniels a lot when I watch him play football. Is he going to be as good as Jaden Daniels? I don't know. Odds are no, but I hope I hope he is. But I can tell you that it's very reminiscent. They play very similar. And like again, when I'm going through the breadcrumbs and I see that he trained with Justin Herbert's trainer, and that he trained with Jaden Daniels in the off seasons when he was coming up. Like a lot of this stuff is starting to make sense when I watch him play. Stylistically, there are some similarities there between him and Jaden Daniels. Just the way that they go about approaching the football game and the aggressiveness they play with as well, and the efficiency they play with. Like those are all things I've noticed watching him play legitimately. I saw Dan Orlovsky point that out too. So shout out to him. He did say that he reminds me of Jaden Daniels, like the plan the Giants have for him. So it isn't just me. Like I thought it, but seeing it corroborated by someone who's supposed to know more than I do made me feel pretty good.
Hey, so well, go ahead, Ma. You just want to
No,
add to
I was just gonna add this. I think we could see him sometime in September. Like I've done a couple fantasy drafts. People are just, I mean, I would take him in the fantasy draft. That's how early I think he's gonna get in there.
Wow.
But I do think after a couple games, like if they're not overly impressed with Russell Wilson, and I mean Jameis is just he's just for the vibes at this point. He's not a threat to play. Dart doesn't have to worry about him. Like Dart's the next in line. So after the first couple of games, like I think we might see him, and that might even be regardless of like if Russ plays okay. I still think they want to put Dart in there as soon as possible. I think what he showed in preseason is that he's a lot further along than maybe some of them thought, which is why they went and did this whole sign 2 veteran quarterbacks to kind of cushion the rookie a little bit. But, I mean, he played in the SEC. That's one of the best conferences if you're looking at quarterbacks because that's what they're going to face on Sundays. They're going to face first-round defensive ends and first-round corners, and they're throwing to first-round receivers. So you're getting a chance to see what it really looks like. So he's been in Death Valley. He's been all over. So I do think this kid is going to be successful. He might have his lumps. I'd play him a couple games before that tough stretch against, Eagles and Denver just to get him acclimated, and then, let's see what the kid's got. But he's going to have to play against these defenses anyway. So why not get it out of the way? And I'd hate for them to wait till after that and after the bye to play him when these are great learning opportunities.
All right, we're going to do the Giants record prediction. And to Greg's point, it doesn't make sense that Jackson fell that far, but I think we all know why. Pittsburgh, at least on the Pittsburgh front, they were fixated with getting Aaron Rodgers. We'll definitely have to be talking about them throughout the season because if it does not go how they obviously envisioned in their head, I think personally this might be a time where we actually see Mike Tomlin on the hot seat. Don't think he'll get fired. Pittsburgh Steelers are the ultimate, we just want to go, we're comfortable in what we know team. His job will be safe still, but I think it'll be some more conversations of like, all right, Mike, maybe we need to kind of like with Bill Belichick. You might have to you can't have any say in the roster and you can't have any say in what we're doing. The offense looks abysmal. We got to get a new OC. You don't get to pick them. Like, I think we'll see a little bit of his power in Pittsburgh and his love in Pittsburgh start to decline after this season. Because I personally don't think they'll win 8 games again this year. Woo! That's it.
I think the biggest indictment on him would be if Russell Wilson goes out and plays for the Giants and looks really good, like better than last year. Like if he looks better than they did in that, and he did in that offense with the Giants, it's going to be an indictment on him and the whole coaching staff. I don't think it'll lead to him getting fired, but I think the league watches the league. They all watch each other, and I think they'd all recognize, hey man, like Russell Wilson could look like this for us last year, but you weren't even letting him check out of plays and audible. Like we were just doing play action over and over again, or running the ball, HB dive over and over again. So this ridiculous playbook, an archaic playbook, it could cause some problems over there if Russell Wilson comes out hot. We'll see.
I agree with Miles though. Even if he does play well, I think regardless they'll put Dart in at some point.
Yeah, I just don't see.
But I think with him playing well though, like you said though, you're gonna have to look back at Pittsburgh like, all right, so it wasn't him. And he'll get another shot somewhere else because it's like, all right, Russ actually could play. And it's a tough situation now for him because I know he signed here thinking I definitely could beat out Mr. Chaplin over here and Jameis Winston. Jackson Dart. All right, everybody, including the Giants on some level, was like, he's not ready yet. The way he played Russ could have a game where he has 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and still won't play the following week. It could be that type of situation because Dart is the future. And why, like Miles said, why not get it started for the future? And we've all seen it. Dayball, hey, his wife may have questions because I don't look at his wife the way that he looks at Jackson Dart. Looking at the Giants roster this year, I said roster, the schedule. We're gonna go through the games. Any of the games that you want to give a little deeper explanation, you can. And we're gonna go rapid fire through the games. Your record prediction. First game of the season. You guys are at the Commanders, who did. They actually finally gave Terry his money. Giants Commanders. That's a win or a loss.
I'm going to be unpopular with this one. I think we're going to win that game. I'm last year they played them super tight. The only improvement they made to the roster is adding, I believe, Von Miller, who's as old as what's it called, Denzel Washington now, and then you've got also Debo there now too on offense, who seems to have slimmed down since his questionable eating habits were early in the offseason. So I mean, seriously, I think they're talented. I don't see Super Bowl for them, but you never know. They're certainly a talented enough football team to do that. But I think catching them early, we can win that game. And actually, we played them tough with Daniel Jones at quarterback. So I do feel pretty confident with our pass rush and what we have going on that we can squeeze out a win here. I'll take the Giants. I'll take them.
Yeah, I'll start off again. First 2 games are on the road. Giants in Jerry World.
Yeah. I would love to get a win in Jerry World here, but I'm going to say that's a loss. I hope we win that game, but I'm going to say it's a loss. It's been too long since we won in Jerry World. It really has been ridiculous, truly. But hopefully Michael Parsons is not playing by then, and we can squeeze one out. But I think they'll lose the game. Let's say for the sake of this exercise, they lose.
I'll say if Micah doesn't play, I think that's a game with the Giants.
I think we can win that game. Yeah.
Saw it in the doc that Joker let Emmitt Smith not play the first 2 games of the season. They went 0-2. We might see a similar situation.
And then they paid him right after.
Right after that. First home game that y'all got Sunday night is against the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a loss. That's a loss. I'm not even gonna play games. Andy Reid does not lose in September.
The following week, you guys have one of your favorite quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, comes to town.
I think we can win that game. I don't know, man. Call me crazy. If we can stop the run, we have a chance to win it. I'm gonna say they win that game. I'm gonna say they win that game. I think the Giants surprise people and win that football game. But if Justin Herbert comes in there and tears us up, it wouldn't surprise me. Exactly.
Right now, you got them at 2-2. Giants go to New Orleans.
I think we win that game.
Yeah, I wrote a win down already. Eagles at the following week. Y'all got short week, Thursday night game. Eagles come to MetLife.
I don't know. It's a divisional game, so either way.
That's how that's usually how that goes, man. Whatever. You never know. We hope we win that game, but we're gonna lose that game. I think. I mean, they're just too good. We'll see.
The following week, y'all back on the road. Giants, Broncos.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Really good.
It's really, really good. It's really, really good. So is ours.
I know. I was going to say, you guys can put pressure on Bo Nix. I mean,
we can get after him.
Murderer's Row out there for his receivers. He's got Cortland Sutton and a bunch of guys. So
yeah, we can get after him. I think that game's going to be a coin flip. For the sake of exercise, I say they win that game on the road, but it's going to be tough.
Y'all see the Eagles again. That's a short turnaround.
So 2 times in 3 weeks.
2 times in 3 weeks. Giants at Eagles this time.
That's a loss.
We didn't win at home. We're not going to win on the road. So that's a loss. I'm not going to give us a game against the Eagles this year. Although I hope I'm wrong. Because I think if any team can make in the division can make Jalen Hurts struggle, it'll be the Giants because of that pass rush. So you never know how those games are going to turn out because of our pass rush. We could win one of them. But I'll say loss in different eyes.
Brock Purdy comes to town.
I mean, I feel like
the has to win because the 49ers lost a lot of pieces on defense. So
they lost the safety. Yeah, they lost to all pro safety. They lost Debo, who I think they willingly wanted to lose him. I think there's a chance we win that football game. I think we can surprise folks and win a game against that 49ers football team. We're at MetLife, we're home, we're not going to the West Coast. I think we have a shot.
Giants against the Bears at Chicago.
I'm excited for that one. I really am.
I'm gonna versus Caleb.
That's gonna be a heck of a game if it's Darts versus Caleb. I'm gonna take the Giants. I think Caleb holds the ball too long, gets our pass rushing, and really has a hard time dealing with the pass rushing. That he's not playing on time, and he's gonna try to be Superman, and that won't work against our guys. So I'll take the Giants.
That following week, you guys have after the Bears. Wow, why did it just disappear? Okay, here we go. After the Bears, Packers come to town.
That's a loss.
It's a loss. Yeah, I think the Packers win the game. He's got a great offensive line.
Giants at Lions.
That's a loss. I mean, that's a loss. Their defense sucks. Maybe we'll catch them by surprise, but it's a loss. I'm gonna say it's a loss. We can get after Jared Goff's statue behind in the pocket. You never know. You never know.
Giants at the Patriots.
Win. At the Patriots, win.
After that, you guys go on a bye week. After the bye, you have the Commanders at home.
We beat them the first time, or we'll lose the second one. That's my prediction there. I'd love to sweep them 2-0 though.
Vikings come to town. Vikings Giants.
That's a win. McCarthy's a young guy. That's a win. I think Brian Flores is a heck of a defensive coordinator. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't teaming up against Daniel Jones. That's all I'm gonna tell you. So we'll go get JJ McCarthy.
Giants at Raiders.
Win.
And to end off the year, Cowboys come to town.
Did I say the first one was a loss?
Well, that also depends on if they've already clinched the playoff spot or not.
Being the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Cowboys are gonna. Do you think the Cowboys are gonna be that good this year? Probably a whole different exercise.
I think it depends on that one guy. That's it.
Well,
you did say week 2 you had them losing, so
yeah, I'll go win. I think we'll split. We'll get the Cowboys once.
So that has them at a record of 10-7.
People are gonna hear this and laugh. That's hilarious. I mean,
10-6, 10-7.
7 is crazy. I don't. But you never know. It really with that pass rush is not far. It's not like out of control.
I was just about to say. I was just about to say that might be one of surprise teams. And those that have listened to the pod, I am not a Giants fan. I do not give a darn about the Giants. I am not a fan of the Giants. When they won, they decided to celebrate in New York like they don't play in New Jersey. And I forever do not rock with the Giants for that reason. But I do think, and I've been saying it since the preseason started and training camp, watching Abdul Carter, good Lord, along with Sexy Dex, Thibodeau, Burns, they really is looking very reminiscent of those Giants teams that have had success. The D-line, a run game, halfway decent quarterback play, and in this situation, no disrespect to Eli, but in regards of quarterback play, they might have a better quarterback situation. Eli showed up in the playoffs, but regular season's up and down. Might have a better quarterback situation than they had for those Super Bowl teams. We'll have to see, of course, how Sierra treats Russ during the year, and when Jackson does play. I tell you this, he has the most swag ever for a Giants quarterback. Just put it plain and simple.
Not even close. Not even close. Not even a close second.
Looking at the Jets, of course, as I mentioned before, we've done it every year. Giants, Jets. As I mentioned also, we normally would have another team, but that co-host is no longer with us. Him and Lee Corso are doing the same exact thing. Steelers, Jets, week 1.
That one's going to be an interesting one because I think if they can put pressure on Rodgers, which, I mean, that's the key now that he's an older veteran quarterback with no mobility. But if you put pressure on him, it's not like they have an abundance of weapons. Like they've got DK and a couple backup running backs. So, I mean, I think we can win that one. I'm going to chalk that one up as a surprise.
Bills at Jets, week 2.
Oh, that's a loss. That's a loss.
Jets at Buccaneers.
That one's probably a loss too. I mean, shoot, it's at Buccaneers. I mean, yeah, that's a loss. I don't need to go into detail on it.
Yeah, you know, Greg is high on Baker, so if you said win, I know he's about to unmute for sure. Jets at Dolphins.
I'm going to take us for the dub.
Hopefully no concussions for Tua. Cowboys at Jets.
Oof. You know what? I'm going to say we lose that one. I'm going to be level-headed this year.
Broncos at Jets. That's in London.
Yeah, that's a loss. That's a good team.
Panthers at Jets with a rejuvenated Bryce Young and Tet over there.
I do think that could be a loss too. I mean, the Panthers I have as like a sleeper to make the playoffs this year as a wild card team. I think they're going to be good. I'm high on Bryce. So, yeah. But the Jets are going to be scrappy this year. So some of these games I'm choosing to be more political on. They could win these games, but I'm going to say the Panthers will win.
The following week, the Jets will play the Christopher Bengals.
Oh, that's a dub. We're running it up on them.
Browns at Jets.
That one's a win, too.
Jets at Patriots.
Jets at Patriots.
Thursday night football on Prime.
You got to be able to get the Patriots at least once. I mean, come on. I know Drake is great. I like Drake. Grow great is tough, but I like Drake, but still.
I would like to say that we'll win one of those games. So why not in Foxborough, whatever they call it out there in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Foxborough. Jets at Ravens.
Oh, that's a loss.
Yeah, I already wrote the L, but I just, asking for the content. Falcons at Jets.
Falcons at Jets. That one's a loss. Yeah, that one's a loss.
Dolphins at Jets.
Depends on the health of the Dolphins, but I do think they can get us in that one.
You got them winning that one?
Yeah, I got the Dolphins winning that one.
Jets at Jaguars.
I think the Jets can win that one.
All right, we got 3 games left to end off the season. Jets at Saints.
That's a dub.
Patriots come to Jersey, MetLife.
I'm going to say that's a dub again.
And then Jets at Bills.
They'll probably rest their starters. I mean, it all depends on that. But like if they've already clinched like a top 1 or 2 seed and it doesn't matter, then they won't play their starters, and then I think we can beat them. So I'll say that's a win too.
All right, the record that you have predicted for your Jets this year: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, and 8.
That's about what I think they'll be. I think because of Glenn coming in, I do think that he'll add that competitive, like, we're not here to play games. Like, if you mess up, you're coming out. So you got to lock in for 60 minutes. I think he's going to bring that mentality, and they'll be able to win some games that they probably shouldn't or wouldn't have with Salah when he was here. So 9-8, it's a good start to the rebuild. But I do not think that Fields will be here long term. So, I mean, I'm interested to see how this season goes, but I'm anticipating them looking for their guy in the draft next year.
NFL Week 1, 2 games. What are the 2 games that you are most excited to watch Week 1 with football back?
Oof. Ravens Bills, of course. That's the easy one right there. It's a rematch of the playoffs from last year. You know, Josh Allen got the best of Lamar, and I don't know if you can say it's a little bit of a rivalry, but there's something brewing between those teams. So I do think that's one of the better games for Week 1. And another game, Giants Commanders. Giants Commanders could be one of those. Like either one of the New York teams. Like Jets Steelers for all of the reasons that Rodgers is coming back to MetLife. And then the Commanders against the Giants. It's a new day for the Giants starting this year. And then the Commanders, people are saying they're one of their Super Bowl favorites or contenders this year to make the Super Bowl. And after making the NFC Championship last year, that's kind of where you have to be. So signing Terry was big, but Giants do have a nice D-line with all the guys that we've talked about. Abdul, Burns, even Kayvon still there. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Greg, you might have mentioned them, but is there any other games from Week 1 that you're most excited to watch?
I mean, looking at the slate of games here, I think Lions Packers are going to be interesting and have some intrigue to it. I mean, naturally, I think the Giants Commanders is going to be great, but I think obviously Ravens Bills is like prime time and a big time game there too. But if I'm going to give you 2 games that I find to be particularly interesting, Bears Vikings to see Caleb for the first time with the new coach there and Johnson, and seeing how he acclimates himself to the offense when actual bullets are flying. Because it's one thing to look good in the preseason run, but the last time we saw him against the Chiefs in the preseason against those number ones, he looked awful. He didn't look good, right? He took a sack where he literally just tried to run around like a kid who was stuck in a playpen, and eventually fell down. So it'll be interesting to see how he acclimates himself to that offense in real time playing against the Vikings, and then we get a chance to see JJ McCarthy, who they dumped Sam Darnold for, and we're gonna see immediately what this is all about. If the hype is really there, and if we really deserve the hype, I'm so interested to see what JJ McCarthy looks like in an NFL football game. So I can't wait for that game. Bears Vikings. And I think Packers Lions is going to be just really, really fun to watch too. I don't know if I don't know how the Lions defense is going to look, and I want to see if the Packers can exploit that as well. But we'll get a chance to see some pretty good matchups early this year, and I think those are 2 of them that really, really stand out to me.
I'll just throw one out there. Another one that I'm intrigued to watch to see, just for this storyline, which we know sports is all about storylines. Cam Ward's first start against that Broncos defense. I am intrigued to see how that goes for Cam to start off. We're hearing discussions and talks of Mike Tannenbaum, who thinks the Titans are going to make the playoffs, and Cam Ward is going to have a similar Jaden Daniels-X type of season. That's a crazy first start, crazy defense to see as your first time in the NFL with that wide receiving core. I'm intrigued to see how he does, if he is even serviceable in that game and what we can take away from it. Because even we saw in the preseason so far, even though the wide receivers have some drops, we could see a situation where it's all right, they lose the game against the Broncos, but we walk away from it knowing yeah, Cam is that guy. He's an elite quarterback. It's only week 1. It's week 1.
I don't see it. I don't think Cam's gonna have a great first year in the NFL. I just don't think they have the pieces around him to have success. It's not so much about his skill set or his ability. It's more so about what's around him. I don't like the core what they have built around him. I don't think he's in this position where he's built for success. And I'm not even sure their coordinator is particularly great either. So I have questions about the Titans. I really, really do. And it's based on things I heard from camp too. It's not just like me making it, like just saying it. Like I hope he does well, but I just don't know that I don't know that I see it.
Week 1 is only week 1. What game do you think the team should be on upset alert?
The Commanders. I think the Commanders should be an upset. I really do. I think the line, if you look at the line, for all you bettors out there, for all you degenerates out there, I think the Giants are not. I think the lines move, but the
spread is Washington 6.5.
Oh, there you go. They got them up by a touchdown, which is actually it's moved, but they're still the underdog, and I just think that people have the Commanders being this, the dark horse team, dominant team throughout this year, and I just don't see it. I think the Giants played them close last year, both games, and they're better. The Giants are significantly better. I would argue the Giants have made more improvements to their roster than the Commanders have to theirs, right? So you're closing the gap that was there last year. So I think the Giants have a really good chance with that pass rush to make some real noise, and it's going to be immediate. And I can't wait until Abdul Carter gets his first sack. I mean, we're probably going to see that in week 1.
Sidebar: who do you think has a better season? Granted, we don't know when and if he'll be signed, but do you think, not even who has a better season, do you think we'll see Abdul Carter in year 1 and like discussions possibly for DPOY type of season, kind of like that first year we saw Micah and we just knew like, oh, Micah's special. Do you think we see that type of year from Abdul?
Yeah, I do. I personally, because you got to think about it. Like think about it this way: Micah did that and didn't even have like all the guys he had that Abdul has around him to take attention away from him. Like he has Dexter Lawrence, he has Brian Burns, he has Kayvon. There's a rotation. He has Golston behind him. There's other guys that they have that are good defensive linemen on the line. So think about that. Like Dexter Lawrence is going to get double teamed. You're not going to not double team that guy. He's the best defensive tackle in football. So you're going to get one-on-ones early and often, and you're going to move him all around the line. You can play linebacker standing up because he did that at Penn State before he transitioned to being a defensive lineman. The versatility. I think this guy's going to get an interception this year, one of them, and I think he's going to end up. He's going to have 12 sacks. I think he's going to have a heck of a year, man. He's faster than Micah Parsons, was what I can remember. Like I've never seen a defensive lineman this fast. I've just never seen it in my life. I've never seen a defensive lineman this fast in my life. Like when I watched him at Penn State, it stood out to me on the screen. It was unbelievable how fast he was off the line of scrimmage. I've never seen anything quite like it. So I think it's like a can't miss. So long as he stays healthy, he's going to be really, really good. And he's technically sound in the run game, too. So it's not like he can't play all 4 downs. He's going to be out there.
Miles, any team that you feel should be on upset alert week 1?
Say that one more time, my bad.
Any team you think should be on upset alert week 1?
I mean, like I talked about, the Giants over the Commanders for sure. I like that one. I mean, Chiefs Chargers. I could see the Chargers knocking off the Chiefs in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I don't know why they keep doing this. It's not safe. But
free game, by the way. Free game on YouTube. It's not the NFL is being charitable. They're feeling like Saint Nick.
That's the least they could do. They're raising the rent out here for, if you're trying to subscribe to YouTube. So, but yeah, I do think the Chargers could beat them. I'd like to see how this rookie running back looks, Omari Hampton. I think he's really good. Outside of Genty, he was the second best guy in the draft. And I want to see if they open things up more for Herbert now that you're bringing a guy he's familiar with, like Keenan Allen, or the rookie like Trey Harris. I don't even want to mention Quentin Johnston because you probably dropped the remote as we're speaking. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. Of course, all these games, it's football season, so I watch all of them. But that one specifically because somebody's got to put the Chiefs on notice in that division. And I think the gap is starting to close a little bit. Like the Broncos have closed it. Now I want to see if the Chargers can close it too.
All right. Give us your 2 games that your best bets, whether it's the money line, whether it's the spread, and then give me a parlay, 4 or 5 leg, however many legs you got on it, for our gamblers when we get our sponsorship from somebody, Fanatics Sportsbook or something.
All right, so I mean, it's going to be tough for Cam to do much against the Broncos week 1. So with the spread, I like Broncos 7.5. You're asking them to beat them by at least a touchdown and maybe an extra point from there. I think the Broncos could blow them out. I don't know how much improving the Titans have done on defense, but the Broncos offense is pretty solid. They brought in some pieces. They've got rookie running back RJ Harvey. They've got receivers out there. Cortland Sutton's still there. Marvin Mims is a big play waiting to happen. So it's going to be a tough test for Cam. I mean, he showed that he's got the talent to make it in this league in preseason, but he's going to have some growing pains. Like Calvin Ridley's, he's good, but once you name Calvin Ridley, who are you going to name after that? Who else is he throwing to? So it's going to be a tough one week 1. Some of these are a lot of toss-ups. I do like the Panthers over the Jaguars. I'll take a money line because, I mean, there's more money in it if you're betting. Let's be frank. I think the Panthers are a better team than the Jaguars currently. They've made a lot of improvements on that offensive line, added some more weapons on offense. So it's going to be a fun ride with the Panthers this year, I think. Cam Newton, he's allowed back in the stadium again. We can have fun. We can, slam the drum a little bit. And then sleeper, I like the Colts to knock off the Dolphins week 1 too. I think Daniel Jones, he's going to be riding high after that game. Maybe not that he did enough or he did a lot in that game, but he's going to do just enough to not lose them that game. Because the Dolphins, they've got Greg playing corner out there. Like, there's not much to be had defensively for them. Like, they've taken a huge step back defensively. And sure, they've got the weapons on offense. Tyreek's going to be healthy week 1. Waddle, you hope A-Chain's still healthy week 1. So they have that, but the Colts, I think, they're a sleeper. I mean, you drafted Tyler Warren for a reason. He's a big weapon, and for all those fantasy guys out there, if you don't get the top 3, the big 3, then Tyler Warren's a good consolation prize.
You got the Colts money line on that one?
Oh yeah, because whenever it's like 1.5, you might as well just pick a money line to win. Because I mean, what's 1 point? If they win by 1 point, then the fix was in.
All right, we're going to end off the show with our NFL award predictions. Starting off with, obviously, the most popular, most fun one. MVP. Who are y'all MVP predictions?
Jalen Hurts. Hey, he was up there a few years ago. It was his MVP to win. And then he got hurt. So, I mean, they didn't give it to him. But this is a guy who can win an MVP. I think Saquon's going to take a little bit of a step back because that's a lot of touches to give one guy. And I think they're going to throw it more. They got a tough schedule. If you look at the Eagles' schedule, they've got a really tough schedule this year. So they're going to have to pass it. And, I mean, he's still got AJ. He's still got Devontae. He's still got Dallas Goedert. Like, he's got weapons. So he can spread it around. And, I mean, if they're winning, if they're like 10-1, 12-1 as we get into December, like, he's going to be at the forefront of that MVP discussion.
Lamar Jackson. Okay, like Lamar Jackson's going to win MVP this year. He should have won it last year. Lamar's going to have a great year. So long as he stays healthy, I think it's going to be one of our big 4 quarterbacks. And sleeper pick, which is crazy to say, is Patrick Mahomes, who will be on our bench tour because everyone's talking hot, saying that he's not the same guy, saying that he's not better than Josh Allen, that he's no longer the top dog. That guy's still the top dog in the NFL as a quarterback. He just is. So it'll be either Mahomes or it'll be Lamar Jackson. That is my my very educated opinion on the matter.
Hey, I'll throw in there. I think possibly Joe Burrow could get it. I said it earlier.
Yeah.
Last month, I feel Joe Burrow's MVP season is low end because the Bengals have not surrounded him with anything on the defensive side. So we can see some high shooting, high scoring games where Joe Burrow is putting up astronomical numbers, which might be able to give him that MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going with Jamar Chase.
I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Miles, you're on mute right now, so that's why.
You go ahead.
Well, I mean, Jamar's a safe bet. I think did he not win the award last year based on that?
I believe he did.
Saquon won it. Saquon won it.
Saquon
won it. Okay, Saquon won it. Okay. Yeah, I think Jamar could be the winner of that award. I thinking about other guys that are eligible and can probably get that award too. I hate when this is bad TV, it's bad podcasting, it's bad out radio when people sitting there to think about something on air instead of having an answer for you. But I got to think about it, and so I just because I can say Jamar, but I don't want to be a copycat. I think there are a lot of talented offensive players in the NFL. Obviously, I'm fighting the urge to fighting my like my what they call it, like that impulse to be like Malik Neighbors. But that's not gonna happen. But no, I think Jamar can win it. I think that another guy could be he's laughing.
Greg is funny because you didn't have to plug Malik Neighbors there, but you did because you want to say he's a candidate to win Offensive Player of the Year.
I mean, he could go crazy.
He could go crazy. I mean, if Dart is who we think he is, and Russ gets off to a good start, I mean, Neighbors is definitely a
sneaky candidate.
It's tough. Like receivers really have to put up league-shattering numbers to win this award. Like
they do.
Like Randy Moss's type of year, where he had 22 touchdowns and all that. That's the type of year a receiver's going to have. Like this is really like either a QB or a running back award. So I'm thinking like Jahmyr Gibbs or Jahmyr Gibbs.
I knew you were going to say that because I was thinking his name too. Oh my goodness! But he splits his carries.
Yeah, but
so I don't see it. That's why I didn't pick him.
He did last year with split carries. I think they're gonna. It's a new offense. We could slowly start to see them leaning more towards Jahmyr. And then my other one, dark horse, even though it's not because he got it a couple years ago, is CMC. I think with McCaffrey coming back, that team, they need weapons. And early on in the season, they're going to be missing Ayuk. Jennings is out. So who's going to have to carry the load? CMC. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to get touchdowns. Like if he puts up a year like he did a couple years ago where maybe 18, 19 touchdowns, which is possible because Purdy, for all the flack that he catches, he's a solid quarterback in this league, and he can get you down to the red zone where CMC is always a weapon. So it's either Jahmyr Gibbs or CMC for me.
DPOY.
Abdul Carter.
That's DROY for me.
Yeah. No, you got him for that for sure.
DPOY.
I mean, Myles Garrett's a cheat code. Like,
I mean, yeah, you could always go Myles Garrett if you want to.
He's going to be one of the top 3 sack leaders of all time when he's done with it. I think he can easily get it again this year. Like, that guy is a beast. Just make sure he's in an Uber. That's it. As long as he's not driving, we're good. This defensive player of the year is all safe in his hands. But we don't need to talk about that. That's legal. We talk to legal about that.
I hate to do the 2 guesses thing, but I want to go TJ Watt is always a safe bet, so a safe pick. My dark horse pick, and I've been saying this for years on this podcast, is Dexter Lawrence, who I believe in any given year could be Defensive Player of the Year. If he stayed healthy last year, he had 9 sacks when he got hurt. If the Giants have any kind of success at all this year, and he stays healthy with that pass rush, he could be Defensive Player of the Year. and this could be the year where it finally comes to fruition, and I'm right.
Dark horse, I'll throw out there Will Anderson over there with the Texans.
Well, Bronny?
Yeah, Bronny. Bronny the third.
He had 11 sacks last year, which was 10th in the league. They added some more to that front line. D'Amico Ryans, that's his strong suit is the defense. Him, opposite of Daniil Hunter, we could see another year, 11, 12, 13 possible sacks. Looking at the offensive rookie of the year, who do y'all have?
Oof. Gene T? I don't like it. He's on the Raiders.
I feel that's too easy to just say.
Yeah, I don't like that. And like Travis, I don't know what his snap count's gonna be like and what the offense.
I don't know if he's gonna make it through the season.
I like Emeka out of Tampa Bay. I think with Godwin on, he's not on IR, but he's not playing until October. He's the number 2 behind Mike Evans, and in this offense, they're gonna throw it a lot. So Baker's already throwing around St. Brown comps, and once you start doing that, the hype train is going off the rails a little bit. But this kid is good. He's going to be a really good player in this league. They took him in the first round for a reason, and I do think that he's special enough. Another Ohio State receiver coming into the league. I think he's special enough to make an impact right away. 1,000 yards is within the realm of possibilities. Even 90 to 100 catches is in the realm of possibilities if he's playing in the slot. So that's my pick.
I'm gonna go with Ted. That was my rookie of the year. Not a popular pick. I feel like people would sleep on him, but I think with the way Bryce is playing, with the anticipation he's throwing the ball with, he's gonna get plenty of opportunities to make plays early and often. He's their wide receiver 1 over there because Leggett ain't it. So he's gonna have an opportunity out there to go out there and make plays. So I'll go with Ted.
Oh man, you called him Leggett.
Leggett?
It's Leggett.
Defensive rookie of the year. I think we all have Abdul Carter. Safe to say.
I got Abdul.
Coach of the year.
I'll say Aaron Glenn. I think he's going to squeeze the juice out of the orange. Aaron Glenn.
Who? Wait, what? You gotta have success to win that award.
If they can go 9-8, if they can go 9-8,
he predicted 9-8.
You're acting like that's an impossibility.
Miles.
And you know what? I really hope that this year they actually do what I think. Because the last 2 years, Rodgers was a little nutty. Like I don't know what happened those last 2 years, but this year is a little different. We got a coach who he can identify talent. Defense is going to be good. Offense is the wild card, but they're going to be good enough with the run game that they can sneak wins that they probably shouldn't. So Aaron Glenn, I'm going with him.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, right? It's a John. Which one's John? Jim coaches it.
John's in Baltimore.
God damn it, Jim Harbaugh. I'm gonna go with Jim Harbaugh for Coach of the Year this year. I think with the Chargers, they're gonna have some success with the run game. They got Keenan back, who's still a really good receiver. You wouldn't have been able to see it last year with him playing with Caleb, because Caleb was out here running around like a child who just stole something. But I think Herbert's going to have a great year. I think the Chargers are going to be a very good team. And I think they're going to run the ball well, and they're going to play action off of that, and they'll have a strong season. I think Harbaugh will get the award.
All right, last one for the prediction for this season. We get it out now and see. Of course, throughout the season, we probably will change the picks because of the information that we receive once the season starts and we see teams. But before the season starts, from what we've seen in preseason training camp, who do y'all have as your Super Bowl prediction and winner?
I like the Ravens to make it. I do think that this could be the year. I mean, they've made a lot of improvements on defense. They brought in some solid rookies. You know, they brought in Jair Alexander at corner. So that defense is going to be solid. And then offensively, I mean, you bring in D-Hop, which I mean, he may be like 10 years too late, but he can be good enough to be a threat out there. You know, maybe not be a full-time player for them, but he's going to add that jump ball possession receiver that they don't really have with Zay Flowers. So, and if Lamar could win MVP or should win MVP this year, then that's an even better position that they're being put in. So I think the Ravens, and then, I mean, I'm going to say the Eagles again. I mean, if you look at the roster, which Greg knows it from top to bottom, you'll see that the defense is a good defense. And yeah, they're on their third or fourth OC in the last 4 years. I mean, they've made it to the Super Bowl with two of them. What makes this year any different? I think Jalen's going to take a step this year because they're going to have to pass it a little more in this new offense. AJ is going to.
Why? What? He just disappeared. I was going to say, why? Why would they have to pass it more when they have the same offensive line? I'm confused. I think the game plan will stay the same. No?
I think he was saying what she alluded to a little bit earlier, that they're probably not going to give Saquon the same amount of touches. So maybe it's a situation like that. Less touches, you pass it more.
Am I still going? Was I still going?
Yeah.
You might have still been.
Greg questioned why.
Okay. You questioned why about which part?
If he it'll be less run attempts this year. You'll be passing the ball more.
Because they just had a guy who ran for over like 450 times last year. I mean, they just invested an extra $20 million in a contract extension to him. I don't think they want to run him into the ground. And his backup's Will Shipley. So if you're telling me I could be going from Saquon, one injury away from that, to being Will Shipley, I think I'd want to scale back a little bit on the runs. And I mean, his track record with the Giants wasn't the best. I mean, you can attest to that. He was banged up a little bit. And that was one of those things that got him run out of New York, is that you don't really pay running backs that type of money because they're getting hit so often. And I mean, last year was great, but I don't think that never happens. A guy has that many touches and then follows it up the next year with that many touches and has a long career after that. It's not possible. So
do you think the Eagles care about the length of that guy's career, or do they care about winning championships now?
I do think that they care about the fact that he was a huge part of them winning last year. I mean, what was the difference between them the other year against the Chiefs when they had Swift versus Saquon? Saquon is a difference maker. He's a guy that he's one of the 3 or 4 best offensive playmakers in the NFL.
Well, I'll say this to you. If this team decides to not run the ball as much this year, they're not making it to the Super Bowl. If they decide they want to start throwing the ball around like some air raid offense and not run the ball at the same clip, they're not making it to the Super Bowl.
I didn't say air raid offense. I'm not saying they're going to be the Bengals. Like, I'm saying that they're not going to run it with Saquon 400 times. Like, so yeah, he'll get his 300. He'll get his 300, but Jalen's going to have to make more plays. So whether that's him throwing it 35 times a game,
they're going to run it with Saquon. So Jalen's going to run a lot more than Jalen gets some touches on the ground too.
We'll see. You'll see real soon. You
don't get an offensive line like that and not run the ball. I'm sorry. You don't do it.
You also don't pay big money to 2 receivers like that unless you're going to use them.
They did it last year. They paid big money to those guys, and those guys were out there, and they were barely throwing the football. Jalen had games where he threw the ball 16 times.
Yeah, and
they
it was a
decided the run
luxury.
game was
It
more
was a
reliable.
luxury, but they're not going to be able to do that consistently. Like they're not going to be able to just, hey, Saquon, make a play like he's Pablo from Backyard Football. So they're going to have to do a little more than just running it. Like, sure, that's their bread and butter, but I mean, Jalen Hurts has shown you in the past that he can make plays. He can lead a team to a win himself, along with the running game. But I mean, Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Conversation always comes back to that. It's so funny.
I think he's a good quarterback too. I just think that I think he plays a very specific role for that football team. He's in a very specific niche for that football team. That's what he is.
It starts with a G, right? You want to say that two game manager. You're calling him a game manager.
I don't know. I don't even know that I would say. I mean, yeah, he is, but I don't look at him like a superstar quarterback that's gonna put you on his back and win you football games like over and over and over again throughout the course of the season. I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm not saying he can't have that kind of year. He's obviously a really good football player, and a good football thrower of the football, and gotten a lot better. But I have questions about how sustainable that is to go away from the running game and throw the ball a lot more often. That's all I'm saying. And that's it. And then win a Super Bowl while doing that. I just don't really see it. If you have that kind of offensive line, run the ball, which I think they're going to do. That's all I'm saying.
Who's your prediction?
Have his moments. I think the Chiefs are going to go back to the Super Bowl this year. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope you're right about the Ravens. I just don't trust them. And then in terms of another team going to I mean, I really want it to be someone other than the Eagles. It'd be frustrating, but let's say the Eagles go back, which kill me now.
I was about to say, you say it with so much disgust. I mean,
I hate.
I think I'll have something different. I think the Rams will make it this year.
Wow.
Rams will make it this year. Obviously, barring Stafford's health, but really like that offense, like what they're doing with defense. Obviously, Jared Verse, Sean McVay will obviously be a part of Coach of the Year discussions, and I do think the Chiefs will get back to the Super Bowl. Predicting the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. I think it's all set up for them to win. Travis Kelce gets engaged before the season. We'll see a bunch of Taylor Swift on the TV and on the big screen. Pat Mahomes is on a revenge tour. Y'all don't forgot who I am. I think it's set up for the Chiefs to actually go get it done. He'll have all his weapons healthy. We'll see Worthy actually play well, and everybody of the sort. Kelce will be rejuvenated now that he has Taylor by his side with a ring on. And we already know. You got Andy Reid. The ultimate example of stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.